The song The Wizard and I is everything. It is want, it is tragedy, it is irony, it is foreshadowing, it is hope, it is despair, and it is all hidden in the phenomenal music and lyrics by Schwartz. Let's uncover these secrets together. Hello, I'm Into the Hoods. For nearly 10 years now, my channel has been dedicated to sharing about the art form of music composition in musical theater, analyzing the content, and making this music theory accessible for the masses. Please continue to support the work that I do by becoming a free or paid patron on my Patreon. There I post updates about my work, as well as weekly reviews of musical soundtracks, movie musicals, or even live shows I watch. And in this video, we'll be looking at the song The Wizard and I from Wicked. Watching the movie in theaters, I cried 4 times. The first was unexpectedly The Wizard and I. The song has gradually turned into my favorite song from Wicked, and maybe one of my favorite I Want songs in all of theater. I Want songs generally fall within the first 10 to 20 minutes of the story, and are usually the second or third song. In terms of story structure, its purpose is to express the main character's motivations and desires, driving the rest of the story. In Disney films, it is often framed as, I want to pursue my own path different from what my father has set out for me. This song is the quintessential I Want song. Immediately before the song, Elphaba goes from an outcast and nobody to the only hand-chosen protege of Madame Morrible, who then suggests to Elphaba that she may meet the wizard someday. Suddenly, Elphaba, who has been misjudged and ostracized all her life, has gained a place at Shiz University through her own merit. She now has a chance to meet the Grand Wizard of Oz. Someone who she believes will understand her and possibly even make her not green anymore. At last, she may finally be loved by everyone. It's a tall order, but for the first time in her life, it seems possible. This I Want song started off with 2 earlier drafts. Elements of each draft shows up in the final version. The first draft was called Making Good. In it, Elphaba's want is also about achieving greatness, but it focuses more on her desire to prove her bullies wrong. It presents a more resentful and cynical Elphaba, something that more closely reflects how she is portrayed in Gregory Maguire's original 1995 novel Wicked.
I have this song called "Making Good," and I'll play a little bit of the song for you. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but you'll get an idea of what it was. This used to be the first song that Elphaba sang when she first arrived, and she used to sing it as she was getting on a train about to go off to university. At long, long last, I'm making my way out of here. Erase the past, it's as of today. Clean and clear, today I start my quest to find my special destiny. Do more than just the best I could. 'Cause in my gut,
unlimited, my future is unlimited.
One section that remains recognizable is the unlimited part, which almost entirely stays the same. By the way, this unlimited theme is a motif that appears frequently throughout the musical, representing Elphaba's hopes and ambitions. It is also an homage to the melody of Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. In The Wizard and I, we hear the unlimited theme, though usually only the first 4 notes. It is no accident that the structure of this draft remained the same in the final version. An introduction, a verse, a slightly spicier second verse, a quick bridge leading back to another verse, the unlimited section, and a final belty verse.
I remember writing Wicked that I had written this first song for Elphaba, the I Want song, which was called Making Good, and which was a really cool title. And it was a pretty good song, but I could just feel as we were doing readings, it wasn't really doing what you want that character to come out, and when she sings, you want the roof to come off. And it wasn't doing that. It was perfectly acceptable, but not doing that. And so finally I said to my colleagues, I'm gonna just write something else here.
So he tried again. At this point, Stephanie Block was replaced with Idina Menzel, who is known for being an energetic powerhouse. Considering her strengths, Schwartz rewrote the song to drive up the energy and capture the excitement of being on a train to Oz.
Once that train leaves the station, far away from here I will stay. Till the morning I will return in triumph as you shout hooray. Someday, someday, you're gonna build me a statue right in my old neighborhood. neighborhood to show how ashamed you are that you never understood. I'd be making good, making good.
You might recognize elements of this second draft because its chords and melody form the introduction to the final version of The Wizard and I, although slowed down to a more introductory pace and with altered lyrics.
Many years I have waited for a gift like yours to appear.
Once that train leaves the station, far away from here I will stay.
However, the phrase making good is still referenced. Both Madame Morrible and Elphaba echo this concept.
You'll be making good.
So I'll make good.
This is the last remnant of the making good concept.
I finally said, you know what, I have to just junk this whole idea. I just have to start from scratch. And I talked to Whitney about it, and we discussed the whole moment. And what emerged is that, first of all, we were in Oz. And what people want in Oz, when they want to fix something that's wrong, is they go to the wizard, and the wizard fixes everything for them. And so this should be a song about that, about going to the wizard. And so I trashed the idea of making good and decided to do a song about her desire to get to the wizard.
For Elphaba, who has been bullied and demonized by society and her own family since birth, this is a chance to be recognized for her talents rather than her green skin. Meeting the wizard could mean being accepted, making a difference, and proving her worth. This yearning, this optimism, this hope is represented in this upwards feeling in the music. The ostinato of the C note repeats as the chords keep shifting upwards as if it wants to break free, and at the end of the chords, we have a little nod to the unlimited theme, from the C to C, B, and G here. Also, it is almost copied identically in Waving Through a Window, the I Want song from Dear Evan Hansen.
I've learned to slam on the brake.
Then in the notes of Elphaba's melody, we have this want yearning to break free. In the first verse, we stay put on the C until she dares to venture slightly upwards. The next phrase, we try again, but with a little more confidence as we rise sooner. In the third phrase, it breaks free, getting up to a G and then an A, and then finally breaking free to the C. Though with this want comes blinded optimism. She is ultimately young and naive. She has a preconceived notion of the wizard and even of the Munchkins too.
Do you think the wizard is dumb? Or like Munchkins so small-minded? No. He'll say to me,
Up until this point, we are in a solid C major, both in melody, chords, and harmony. Though at this point we have a B flat, which isn't part of our key, when she sings both about the wizard and the Munchkins as if she might be unsure. Regardless, the unrealized blindness gives way to further her resolute optimism as she continues singing. Firstly, she has this descending melody that continues to melodically outline her unlimited theme. Then we have this phrase, "That's how we'll begin," which is another major musical theme of the show, known as the transformation theme.
Then became the motif for defying gravity.
Then with even more drive, she continues the next verse. But with optimism comes tragedy. We root for Elphaba, but we know her fate. She will be melted by some snot-nosed murdering girl and be celebrated as a villain.
You cursed rat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world!
Lines like, "This gift or this curse I have inside, maybe at last I'll know why," foreshadows this reality. It is tragic to know that this gift is more of a curse, and she'll know for sure when, and for a bit of foreshadowing, yes, when people see me, they will scream.
when people see me, they will scream. Perhaps.
And a celebration throughout Oz that's all to do with me.
A celebration throughout Oz, that's all to do with me.
And of course, I'm so happy I could melt.
I'd be so happy I could melt!
Her future visions are clouded by this optimism and ultimately is heartbreaking to see. Her optimism blinds her to the truth, making her eventual downfall all the more heartbreaking. The song progresses through a bridge, another verse, and the Unlimited theme section before reaching its climactic final verse. Schwartz masterfully builds suspense, delaying the big belty moment until the very end. Now, speaking of the key, we have something fantastic here. We were previously and solidly in the simple key of C major. When we get to the Unlimited theme section, we go from a C down to a C flat chord, otherwise known as a B. But this is just the beginning of the chord progression, which leads us to the actual key of the section in G flat. G flat being the key that is the furthest away, a tritone away from the C. Very much like how in Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the melody, the vocal line leaps from the bottom to the furthest top, which represents our protagonist's yearning and journey. The leap from the C to the distant key of G flat also represents Elphaba's yearning and journey. We kind of float around in the key a bit, but now as we break into the final magnificent belty verse, we have this rising motion in the key. We end up in this B flat chord, which holds in growing suspense until we hit the key of B major now. Schwartz said that he knew after Idina Menzel was cast that people were expecting to have a belty moment. He likened it to the finale of the musical, a chorus line where the much anticipated kick line was saved only until the very, very end. So he too decided that the clever thing was to subvert expectations and keep holding off on the belting, keeping the audience in suspense until the final verse. So now continuing with this rising key momentum, Schwartz pulls out one final unexpected surprise. As the verse is about to end, we repeat it again, but also we go up a step to the key of C, back to where we started, to end the song.
When people see me, they will scream for half of Oz's.
As an audience, we feel this rising motion, but we don't even notice that we had gone down slightly to B flat in order to rise back up again. What Schwartz did here was absolutely nothing short of spectacular. The cyclical structure reflects Elphaba's journey. Her desires propel her forward, but she ultimately remains trapped within the expectations of others. The song ends with a powerful high note and a fragment of the Unlimited theme, reinforcing her dreams and the inevitable tragedy ahead.
The wizard and
The Wizard and I encapsulates everything that makes Wicked so compelling. Through masterful composition, Schwartz weaves yearning, hope, irony, and tragedy into a simple song. It is a testament to the power of musical storytelling and why it remains one of the most striking I Want songs in all of musical theater. So what do you think? Is The Wizard and I your favorite song from Wicked, or is there another that resonates more with you? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into musical theater composition. Thank you!